What's up, guys? Hello, everybody, and welcome to the weekly weigh-in. If you're catching this on the replay, let me explain something to you real quick. This is going to be a new weekly series. It is not going to be live, but I'm doing this one specifically live for certain reasons that you'll find out later in the video. The meat and potatoes of this video is going to be within the first 5 to 10 minutes, so if you are catching it on that replay, please stick around. Also, don't forget to hit that like or dislike button if you so see fit. Don't forget to subscribe on your way out if you wish. What the weekly weigh-in is going to be, it's going to be just a week in review of where I've been, what loads I ran, how much money I made, the breakdown gross, not net, but gross, of that week. So I just want to let everybody know kind of what's going on, so that way you can see what is possible at Mercer or what I've been doing. So, and the reason I started this series is because this year is, freight has been a little scarce. It's been a little scary, especially for the guys running the spot market. So I just want to kind of let everybody know what's going on a weekly basis. That's what this video is all about. So we're going to wait for a couple more people to show up. Let's see who all is in here. What's up, Mr. Hensley? What's going on, Scott? What's up, Jason? Bobby, how you doing? Mr. McCoffee, Truck, yeah, what's up, man? I like that video you did of that museum out there in West Texas, man. That was sweet. Domingo. Scott is in. He's at the TA in Ontario. I know that TA very, very well. What's going on? George, Todd, Jack Purdy. Happy Sunday, man. Smooth operator. Like it. So, we already got 26 guys in here. I appreciate you guys coming in, checking it out. I know there's a lot of things you guys can be doing. What's up, Hugo? On this Sunday. And I do know football is about to start soon, so I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet, so that way you guys, I don't lose everybody here in about 15 minutes. So, anyway, let's go ahead and dive into this. What's going on, Alex? Appreciate that, my man. Nasty Habits, what's up? All right, we're gonna get into the purpose of this video. I explained before, probably most of you got in here. I'm doing this one live this week. Well, my truck's been in the shop. I'm gonna explain a little bit more once I get into what I'm gonna get into about this video. But let me tell you once more, the weekly weigh-in, what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be going over my numbers for the week. I'm gonna tell you where I've been, what loads I ran, what the total pay was. I'm gonna break down the loaded miles, so the dollar per mile on the loaded miles, as well as I'm gonna include that deadhead because it's important not to forget that deadhead. So let's go ahead and jump into those numbers. On Monday, I ran up to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and I ran a load over to Lancaster, South Carolina. My week before, I finished up in Laurel, Mississippi, so that deadhead was 151 miles. The loaded miles on that trip was 460 miles for a total mileage of 611 miles on that. Now the pay was $11.51 on that trip. So the loaded pay, just the loaded miles, it was $2.50 per mile, roughly. But once you factor in that deadhead, that dropped that cent per mile, rate per mile down to $1.88 a mile. Once I was over in Lancaster, South Carolina, I picked up directly where I delivered to, ran up to Cincinnati, Ohio, so that was 0 deadhead. Here goes with these two. 0 deadhead. Loaded miles 511. Total miles obviously the same, 511. The pay on that was $979.91. Loaded pay was $1.92 per mile, so obviously the same for the total. Next, we ran up to Middletown, Ohio, so from Cincinnati, that was a 38-mile deadhead. We ran over to Plymouth, Minnesota. Loaded mileage was 712 miles for a total mileage of 750. That is a little bit different than what I typically do, but it paid well. It paid $17.24 and 76 cents. And the loaded pay, the loaded miles, was a rate of $2.42 per mile. But once you factor in that deadhead, it dropped it down to about $2.30 per mile. Then from there, it was a little bit awkward. From here, I already knew that I wanted to put my truck into the shop. I've been battling those ABS issues. I'm sure a lot of you guys know what I'm talking about. It can just be a headache. I've already had the valve replaced. I've had all the wiring checked. I replaced one of the sensors, and that light is still haunting my nightmares. So I stopped, and I went ahead and kind of set up the rest of my week to go ahead and get the truck in the shop yesterday and get that fixed, obviously. So I bought 3 ABS sensors. I guess I'll go ahead and go into the story now. I put the truck in the shop yesterday at noon. I got the truck back today at noon, and it's broken. The last sensor, they actually, while they were trying to get that ABS sensor out, the guy broke off the bracket. So, yeah, it's gonna be a rough week next week. Yeah, I know, man. It's gonna be tough next week. So I'm already gonna be down Monday for sure. I'm gonna have to run up there, deliver this load. Hopefully there's a scale in and a scale out. I mean, hopefully I don't get popped. Get back down here, get that fixed. I don't know, maybe I'll get lucky and I'll be able to get a load for Tuesday. That's gonna be dependent on if the dealership actually has the part or not. Hope they do. We'll find out. Get that fixed Monday. Hopefully roll out Tuesday, but I'm it's most likely going to be Wednesday. That's the life of an owner operator. That sucks. It happens. Very simple work. It was going to be 3 ABS sensor, speed sensor replacements, and then while they were in there, they found a wheel seal that was starting to leak. So I went ahead and just took care of that. But yeah, the truck was in the shop for 24 hours. I just got it back a couple hours ago, and haven't really made any content. I planned on not doing this live, but I wanted to start this week and go ahead and kick that off, get this rolling. So that's why we're doing this one live. In the future, it will not be live anymore. But back to where we were at. So that's what I'm dealing with right now. So you guys, say a prayer, do a rain dance. I don't know, whatever you do that for me. I hear you, James. I hear you. The problem, the only issue that I see, if it was summer, man, I would definitely do it. But with it being winter, that it knocks out, my ABS is knocked out, obviously, and then, my traction control is not working. And, just being that the roads are slick and I like to run up north, man, I could take it easy. I could get away with it. What's up, TRC? But, man, I was just gonna say screw it. I'm just going to just go ahead and get it done. It is what it is. So anyway, we out of Plymouth, Minnesota, we deadheaded 197 miles to Wausau, Wisconsin. Bear in mind, I picked this load up, specifically in mind. I wanted to be parked by Friday night, get the work done, and run up north. So this load was running over to Flint, Michigan. So the loaded miles on it were 563 miles. The total mileage, which I did not write down, let's do math real quick, 750 miles total. The pay on it was $14.38 and 52 cents. So the total, just the loaded pay on the loaded miles on that, it was about $2.55 a mile. Pretty good load. But when you factor in that deadhead, it dropped it all the way down to $1.89. But it made for a decent week. So total mileage, all right, truck, yeah, see you later. The totals for the week, my total deadhead was 386 miles. 10 toes down, James. 386 mile deadhead. The loaded miles this week was 2,246 for a total mileage of 2,632 miles. My pay for the week, $5,294.19. So on just my loaded miles, my loaded pay, that was about $2.36 a mile for the week. So pretty good. But when you factor in the deadhead, I was still above $2 a mile a week, so $2 per mile this week, so I was pretty happy with it. It was right at about $2.01 per mile. And that is the weekly weigh-in. So for all you guys catching this back on the replay, appreciate it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week. Don't forget to like or dislike on the way out. Please subscribe if you so see fit to do so. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what this series is going to be. It's going to be about a 4 or 5 minute clip every week. Going to kind of run down everything, and just kind of keep you guys informed. And I'm going to stick around. Everybody, and maybe do some Q&A or hang out. for as long as, you know, the conversation's good. James has got some questions. That's cool. Happy to answer some questions. So yeah, so let's go ahead and get into it. I'm gonna scroll back through as I saw a lot of comments, so I will get back to the bottom here shortly. But I want to say what's up to everybody that has come in. Let's see here. Scott's delivering early tomorrow morning. Without you haters. I've seen your comments. I know who you are. Well, I don't know who you are, but Charlie, man, sorry to hear you're stuck in Laredo. How many miles are on my truck? I am very close to 600,000. Almost 598. Let's see. Bobby Kohler. Will the worker that broke bracket have to reimburse you? You know, the TA, I don't have the exact answers yet. The reason I'm still sitting here, I'm still about 100 miles from Flint. I'm going to try to run up a little bit later, but you know, they are going to take care of, at a minimum, and this is what I've been told. I don't know that this is fact yet, but what I've been told is they are going to take care of that wheel. So everything that involves that bracket, you know, what was broken, the install of that speed sensor, they said they are going to take care of that. As far as getting the rest taken care of, I will be talking to them about that, because they're going to cost me at absolute best, 1 day, which is Monday, and I don't even know if, you know, it most likely it's also going to cost me Tuesday. So, you know, we're going to have to see. So that's all that I know, and that is actually not confirmed yet. So what's going on, Trucker Rudy? Let's see here. I was talking to husband and wife team here at this TA that were recommending I lease on to Mercer. Well, that's, you know, Scott, it's all about location, kind of like what I was talking about in my numbers video. You know, it's dependent. It's different for everybody. You know, there are good fits and there are bad fits. So it just kind of depends on how you work, what your goals are, how much you want to bring home. There's just so many different factors, you know. It's hard. All we can really do is kind of provide that information for you, and, you know, hopefully let you make an educated decision. So, I guess Jason stepped out. Funny thing, the drive company for MC Van Campus. So somebody that drives for a different company was recommended that you sign on to Mercer. That's interesting. Yeah, that's really all I can say about that. So James says, best places to run right now. Man, that's a really good question, to be honest with you. You know, what I'm trying to do with my truck, I've always tried to stay in the Midwest. You know, and guys, also keep in mind, I've been an owner operator for just barely over a year now. So I certainly do not have everything figured out. I do not have all the right answers. But I will give you the best of what I see and what I'm trying to do at the moment. And you can kind of take that with a grain of salt, you know, one way or the other. I may be right, I may be wrong. If I'm wrong, you're catching this on the replay, leave a comment down below. Let me know how I can do better, what I'm doing wrong. Maybe if I'm doing something right, hey, that'd be cool too. But, you know, for me, I'm trying to get to, you know, right now the Southeast is pretty good for flatbed freight. And I learned that from, you know, Make Sense. I watch his DOT, or I'm sorry, his DAT-board videos. And, you know, I try to follow whenever he puts up one of those flatbed videos specifically. So I try to check those out. But really, I will, you know, I'll kind of look at the load board. I run my truck a little bit differently, especially compared to the spot freight guys. The spot freight guys, you know, and now it's even harder being that it's January. You know, I know you guys typically book, like, you know, loads the day before, maybe 2 days before if you get lucky. At least that's how I believe that it's done. But for me, being at Mercer, you know, we have a lot of customers, and so we'll see a lot of freight quite a few days in advance. So what I do to try to keep myself moving, to always keep my truck running, is I plan ahead. I plan far ahead. And yeah, you know, if you have a breakdown, you know, that's gonna, you know, it's gonna ruin a lot of things. But you know, I try to do the best that I can as far as staying on top of my maintenance. Obviously, I'm dealing with something right now. It was completely 100% out of my control. But you know, it just kind of is what it is. I just, you know, if something does happen, I try to give everybody the most heads up that I possibly can. But generally, you know, I'm able to stay running. I'm never really going to hit home runs as far as my rates being super high, because I kind of book out like that. I book ahead, but you know, it takes that curve, you know, the highs and the lows, and it levels it out a bit more. So I'm doing more of this, and I'm always staying running. So that's what I try to do. I avoid Texas at all costs, and that's just because Mercer really doesn't have kind of the best freight coming out of Texas. I've seen some other load boards, and you know, it kind of the same way. You know, I can get $1.60, $1.70 a mile all day, but a lot of times I'm having to deadhead to get out of there, and I wind up losing a day of my home time, so it's a little rough. When I go home, I try to go home for multiple days at a time. So, you know, for me, obviously Chicago's a good area. Wisconsin is usually decent. Minnesota's very hit or miss. I was able to sneak in and out of there, but as you can see, I had to deadhead 197 miles. Michigan is usually pretty good. We'll see how this year goes. Ohio is always, you know, I try to go to Ohio every single time I can. With Mercer, man, if you live in Ohio and you're thinking about going on, you know, coming to Mercer, yeah, great spot for Mercer. I avoid, I'll dip into the western side of Pennsylvania. I avoid the northeast just because I'm just not going to do it. I'll go down to Atlanta, the north side of Georgia. There's a lot of guys that'll go into the north end of Florida. I just avoid Florida. You know, I'll go down to Alabama, and pretty much anything in between all of that. Arkansas is usually pretty good for Mercer as well. So I know that was an extremely long answer, but hopefully I answered that question for you. So let's see here. Daniel McCarthy likes Mr. Magoo. Can't be live streaming. I know, Steve. I know it's about to start, my man. What's up, Patrick Brooks? Chilling at the house. Oh man, I'm on the big screen. Man, let me back up for you. At least he was honest with you. Are you going to do a live show later? No, sir. Trucker Rudy, I typically don't go live. You know, I'm not. I mean, I know I'm funny looking. I'm really not the most funny guy. So I don't do a whole lot of live stuff. I will go live every once in a while, kind of say what's up, or do something like this where I wasn't able to film earlier, but I really wanted to get this video out today, so I don't mind going live. But I leave that to the professionals. Good week, bro. I appreciate that, Domingo. I don't yet know Rudy. We're going to the Omnitrack shop. I don't know. That's a sidebar. Oh, Christian Pagado says, thank you for the information. Man, not a problem. All I've tried to do is just provide the information and let you guys decipher it for yourself, because everybody has a different situation. So, not a problem. Scott lives in Northern California near Sac. Not sure if that's a good area to be leased on to Mercer. Man, my best recommendation would be find somebody that runs at a Western 11 load board. The Western, you know, for Mercer, and if you're talking about flatbed, because I don't know about the dry box side of things, but for flatbed, the Western 11 is a different load board, and I'll try to explain this really quickly because I've had some people ask. When you cross into that Western 11, what happens is when you get unloaded, whatever time you're going to get unloaded, whenever you punch that in, you are now time stamped. And the longer you stay in the Western 11, basically you kind of build up your seniority. So the guys that do nothing but stay in the Western 11, they have the first pick of freight. So if they want to run that, then they have first choice. So if you like to run east to west flatbed, it's probably you're not really going to do very well. I went west earlier 2018, and when I went over there, I didn't mind going north and south, so I stayed busy running up north and south, and I actually got some decent rates over there. But when I tried to come back out, oh man, I took a big hit because I was still far down in that seniority list. But if you live over there, we have a bunch of guys that live over there. They run that Western 11. You know, they do really well over there. But in my opinion, this is just my opinion, the money in flatbed is east of 35. That's just how I see it. And I don't know if it's right. I don't know if it's wrong. That's how I see it. So I don't go out there. Let's see here. Nasty Habits at the Streak and Beacon in Vegas. Oh, man. Rolling home to Los Angeles. There you go. There you go, Nasty. Makes sense. James was asking if Makes Sense is still there. He needs to do a Q&A live feed. Steve Hamilton, Midwest is a place to be during the slow winter months for flatbed. Man, you know, that's what I hear. So that's why I'm up here freezing. Huh. Cold. All honesty and no offense to Mercer drivers, but I'm currently leaning towards leasing on to Traveloco. Hey, man. You know, I don't take offense to it. You do you, you know. No problem. See, TRC says Traveloco is fine. Mercer is fine. Just whatever anyone may like. I agree. You know, it's whatever works for you. You know, there are some blueprints out here, but finding the right one, there's a lot of factors involved. And so, you know, there's no right or wrong answer here. There's no right or wrong answer. I mean, you can lease on to Prime. You can be a company driver. You can run tanks. I mean, you know, long haul, short haul, regional. Everybody can make money. Everybody can make money. Do I run west of 35? Not anymore, Scott. Not anymore. I appreciate it, Walter. I appreciate it. I am doing well, and I hope you're doing well as well. How long have I been working with Mercer? I hired in right around Halloween of 2017. Yes, and Make Sense is driving. TRC says, historically stay Midwest. There will be crap rates all over till March regardless. Agreed. Do what works best, says Fred Ramey. What's up, Fred? Dixie May, you are not first, sir. Game's on, gotta go. Yeah, man, I hear you, Steve. No worries. But rates are not going back where they were forever. No, you know, this industry is very cyclical. You know, if you're a student of history, then you can do very well. And I have seen some excellent advice recently. You know, coming from, you know, people like, you know, Trucking Review Channel has a great channel, lots of knowledge, been doing this a long time. Trucker Coach, you know, he's got a lot of knowledge as well. You know, there are a lot of guys out here that you can learn from. You know, everybody tries to do their best to put out what they feel is the best information. It can be hard to decipher, but ultimately I just say, you know, take what people are teaching and do your own research with that. You know, look at what they are saying and then do your own research and see if that, you know, if those two, if they're congruent with each other. And if they are, then you probably have good knowledge. It's not always going to be the case, but probably. Let's see. I have Krispy Kreme glaze on my beard. Man, it's called beard oil, and it keeps your face nice and moisturized, my man. But I appreciate you looking out. Just watched my interview on the Asian Matcha. Man, I appreciate that, Perry. Yeah, if you guys don't know, you know, Alex over at the Asian Mai show was kind enough to have me on his channel, and you know, he interviewed me over there, and yeah, it was great, man. I love his channel. He's got a lot of really good information. You know, once again, I say take that information, do your own research, and see what works best for you. Does Mercer have dry vans? They do have a dry van division, and as a matter of fact, we have a brand new YouTuber, CT Trucker. He is just starting in YouTube, and let me tell you, I can't tell you how big this learning curve is for YouTube. I mean, it's just like trucking. You could probably spend the rest of your life learning something new all the time, and you'll never know it all. So, you know, but you know, you're welcome to check his channel out. He's going to try to post consistently and get some information, because there are a lot of people that ask about the dry van rates and just all kinds of questions, and there's just not a whole heck of a lot of answers out there, but he is doing it right now, so he's a great person to ask. Let's see here. Hey, what's up, Butch? Does Mercer have strict driver requirements similar to Landstar? For example, Landstar requires their drivers to have hazmat and tanker endorsements. No, they do not require hazmat or tanker. Being that this is flatbed, you know, that's just not really something that you run across a lot. We have a few hazmat customers out there, and man, let me tell you, those flat loads that are hazmat, they pay really well. So that was why I grabbed my hazmat. If I run one of those loads this year, I've way more than paid, you know, for whatever it costs to get my hazmat. I don't remember, but you know, yeah, it's not a requirement to have hazmat, tanker, doubles, anything like that. And I believe that they require 1 year verifiable over the road driving experience to either drive for them, or as a company driving for another owner op, or bringing your own truck on. I think the only way that you can get around it is if you are going to team with someone and then they train you. I don't know how all that works, but that's some hearsay. You're welcome to call the recruiting department and check it out. Matter of fact, you can ask for Rafiq. That's my boy in the recruiting department. I was first, chat was holding. Man, you need to get off that cricket and upgrade your cell phone service, sir, if you believe you were first. Fred Ramey says, go to the truck stops and talk with 100 truckers. Absolutely. That was one of the first things I did. For the first 2.5 months I was out here, I was solo. And, man, I would ask everybody. It just all kinds of questions. And until, I started getting, until I could start to decipher who was BSing me and who wasn't, basically. Because truck stop warriors, man, you can find a few of them. Kelvin Johnson, his equipment is paid for. Just do short hauls in the Northeast till the rates go up. Hey, man, there's a lot of ways to make a lot of money in this industry, and you, my friend, have found a good one. Jorge Correa, hi, sir. I have my CDL 6 months ago, and I still desire to drive. I'm a barber, and I have all my endorsement, hazmat, TWIC. I wasted my time. Well, I mean, I'm not. I apologize. I don't know what I can do for you, man. I mean, it sucks. I'm sorry. Florida Flapper, hey, what's up, man? Happy Sunday. He has his dog with kidney. Okay, man. Whatever. Come on, Dixie. I'm streaming from my phone, man. You can't call me now. Have my dog. Oh, yeah, whatever. Tanker is a good idea, though, so you can run totes that get shipped all the time on flats. It is a good idea. I did use one load last year that used my tanker endorsement, and obviously, great time. It's I think what is add like 10. It's $10 to get that endorsement, and it's just on your CDL forever. So yeah, absolutely. Get those endorsements, guys. Hazmat, that's a different story. Put some thought into that, because that's going to increase your cost. But for $10, absolutely. Daniel McCarthy, what's up, room? Hit that like button, man. Thanks, Daniel. Appreciate that. Scott, my plan is to get endorsements anyway after I move to Nevada. I was just wondering about the requirements. Yeah, man. That's it. It's super simple. They don't require. I have a lot of requirements because this is primarily flatbed. So, but it is a good thing to have. No, you were not first. So anyway, guys, it looks like that's kind of the end of the questions here. I appreciate you sticking around. I know we're losing some people, and that's because, well, we've got some good football on today. Well, hopefully it's some good football. Usually these games are typically blowouts, but generally one of today's games I like to consider that's typically the Super Bowl, because usually the Super Bowl is a blowout. It's very rare that the Super Bowl is actually a good game. To me, the best games are the championship games today. So you guys enjoy that football today. Check out every Sunday from now on. My channel is going to be a little bit more structured from here on out. You're going to know what to expect from me and from my channel. Appreciate that, Scott. Be safe as well. But yeah, I wear glasses sometimes, man, when my eyes are tired. I was up till 3:30 last night. Man, I don't even want to get into it. But, my channel's going to be a little bit more structured now from here forward. So that way you guys know what to expect from me, from my channel. You don't have to, wonder if I'm going to put out a video if you're ever wondering that question. I probably wouldn't be, but, maybe some of you are. But every Sunday, weekly weigh-in. Check it out. And, going to be more content here to come, guys. Apparently, I'm going to have a couple days to maybe make a couple videos. So, anyway. Enjoy that football today. You guys be safe out there. Keep them all on the road. And, real quick. Daniel's paths will cross. Man, I hope so, Scott. That'd be cool. Government shutdown, carrying the private sector. I've been trying to keep it. Man, I know. Keeping up with the government is just a headache. Anyway, guys, y'all take care, and I'm out.